Hello, Alabama friends. This could be an insane move by Bama. Alabama may recruit Tyson Bacon, even though he is committed to the volumes. Will Bama win this contest? Before the news, subscribe to the channel. In the vibrant college football scene, the atmosphere in Tuscaloosa is heating up with a move that can be considered bold and revolutionary for the future of Alabama football. The program, which already has an imposing tradition, now turns its eyes to a promising and highly rated talent, Tyson Bacon. Even though he is already verbally committed to the Tennessee Vols, the young defensive lineman, from Hoover High School and rated as a 4-star, has the opportunity to experience a surprising turnaround if he chooses to follow the path of the Crimson Tide. Tyson Bacon's arrival on the Tuscaloosa campus, scheduled for the end of the week of June 13th, is a defining moment not only for him, but for the entire community that closely follows the development of a sports powerhouse. Under the inspired leadership of Coach Kalen DeBoer, Alabama has demonstrated an unwavering belief in its ability to transform promising prospects into historic achievements. In a highly competitive recruiting market, where even renowned names compete for athletes' attention, the Crimson Tide program stands out for offering a unique combination of tradition, state-of-the-art facilities, and a vision that focuses on development both on and off the field. The importance of this official visit goes beyond simply touring the facilities or talking to the coaches. It represents a unique opportunity for Tyson Bacon to understand the legacy and responsibility of joining a team that, for decades, has established itself as a symbol of excellence and competitiveness. From the warm welcome from the fans to the direct contact with the professionals who make Alabama a hotbed of talent for the NFL, every detail was meticulously planned to demonstrate that the Crimson Tide is not just an option, but the ideal destination for an athlete of his caliber. Even with the verbal commitment made to the Tennessee Vols, the world of decisions in college football is permeated by uncertainty and twists and turns. Historically, last-minute recruiting stories are not uncommon, and the current scenario gives the Tuscaloosa program room to show its power of attraction. Bacon's official visit is a true litmus test for Kalen DeBoer's work philosophy, who has stood out for transforming each opportunity into a strong link that unites tradition and innovation. By demonstrating, with solid arguments and a human approach, that Alabama is the perfect environment for athletic and personal growth, the Crimson Tide team seeks not only to reverse a commitment, but to write a new chapter in the history of the sport. The fact that Tyson Bacon is a product of Hoover High School, in the heart of Alabama, gives this competition an even more special meaning. The possibility of seeing a local talent choose to stay home and develop at an institution that carries the passion and history of American football is a source of pride for the entire community. This regional connection strengthens the bond between the athlete and the fans, raising the expectation that the Crimson Tide, with its unparalleled structure, can be the stage where big dreams turn into memorable achievements. The competition for Bacon's commitment is not limited to the direct confrontation with the Vols. It also extends to competition with major programs, such as Georgia. Each meeting, each conversation, and each demonstration of interest is an essential piece in the construction of an ambitious project that aims to consolidate Alabama as the top choice for the best talents in the country. And it is precisely in this scenario of fierce rivalries and unique opportunities that Kalen DeBoer's work gains even more relevance. His commitment to recruiting is seen as the foundation on which the program's continued success is built, a task that requires not only strategy but also sensitivity to recognize and value the human potential of each athlete. At a time when the details of the negotiations are still to be written, the atmosphere in Tuscaloosa is brimming with optimism. Every visitor who visits Alabama's state-of-the-art facilities has the chance to experience, in practice, the philosophy of a team that never compromises on excellence. Tyson Bacon's official visit is expected to be the turning point in this story, demonstrating that, even with verbal commitments made, the attraction of the legacy, the hospitality, and the promise of a brilliant career with the Crimson Tide can be decisive. Will he come? Man, that was unexpected. There's something special about Alabama that wins over even those who initially didn't want to be a part of the Crimson Tide. Jihad Campbell's recruiting story is yet another example of that. The linebacker, who is now poised to be one of the top prospects in the 2025 NFL Draft, admitted that he didn't like Alabama. On the contrary, he wanted to beat them. But like so many others before him, it only took one visit to understand what makes the program unique. Campbell had been verbally committed to Clemson for 6 months and hadn't even considered Alabama as a real option. When he opened his recruitment again, the Tide still weren't a big factor in his race. He had other priorities. And in the end, he was down to 2 options, Texas A&M and Alabama. With just 2 days to decide, Campbell visited both and saw firsthand what each had to offer. That's when what so many other recruits have experienced before happened, the impact of experiencing Alabama's culture of excellence in person. The structure, the trophies, the championship rings, Nick Saban's presence, the way the program runs, all of that matters. But, according to Campbell himself, what really made the difference was the people. This is a point that often goes unnoticed when talking about Alabama's dominance in college football. Many associate the program's success solely with the talent of its players, its high-level tactics, or its ability to develop players for the NFL. But there's a human factor involved, a culture built over decades that turns skeptics into loyal followers. Campbell hasn't just become part of the program, he's thrived. After 3 seasons with the Tide, he's now on the verge of taking the next step and becoming a professional linebacker. The same player who, years ago, said he didn't like Alabama now carries that name with pride heading into the NFL. That's the strength of the Crimson Tide. Alabama doesn't need to convince anyone with empty promises. It simply shows what it has to offer and lets the players experience it for themselves. Jihad Campbell did. And his trajectory proves, once again, that there is something about Alabama that cannot be ignored. In college football, setbacks never come without warning. And Kalen DeBoer tried to warn his team of that before what would become one of Alabama's most unexpected losses in years. The game against Vanderbilt came as a shock to many in the country and to much of the Crimson Tide roster. But not to the coach. He knew exactly what the Commodores were capable of. The Fox Nation documentary The Tides That Bind revealed a scene that now sounds like an omen. Shortly after the big win over Georgia, which put Alabama at the top of the AP rankings, DeBoer gathered his team to reinforce a clear point: we can't underestimate Vanderbilt. His speech was direct. He spoke about confidence, but also about the dangers of arrogance. The win over the Bulldogs meant nothing if the team didn't maintain the same energy and preparation for the next challenge. And he was right. Vanderbilt was not the same fragile team it had been in years past. Clark Lea had been building a competitive team, and throughout the 2024 season, he showed that the Commodores were on the rise. Alabama, perhaps still riding high from its win over Georgia, went into Nashville and suffered a shocking 40-35 loss. It was one of those hard lessons that football teaches. DeBoer saw the danger, tried to prepare his team, but in the end, it was one of those moments when the history of sports is written with surprises. For Alabama, the loss was a reminder that every SEC game is a battle, no matter who the opponent is. Now, with the 2025 season approaching and spring practice about to begin, this episode should serve as a milestone for DeBoer's second year at the helm of the program. He showed that he has the vision and the leadership to keep the Crimson Tide on top. But in college football, it's not enough to just see the danger ahead, you have to make sure everyone on the team sees it too. And next year, Alabama can't afford to ignore any warnings. Albert Hill, a 5-star recruit in the class of 2026, is returning to Tuscaloosa on Monday, and that news alone is enough to warm the heart of any Tide fan. Hailing from Archbishop Hoban High School in Ohio, Hill is the kind of player who embodies what Alabama football is all about: versatility, explosiveness, and a natural instinct to shine on the field. Under current head coach Kalen DeBoer, who has kept the tradition alive while also putting his own stamp on it, Hill's arrival is yet another chapter in the success story that this program continues to write. It's no exaggeration to say that Alabama is among the favorites in Hill's recruitment. The player himself has made it clear that the Crimson Tide is very high on his list, a statement that is music to the ears of those who follow the team. And that's not all. He has already announced plans to take an official visit, which only reinforces how Tuscaloosa could be the perfect destination for this young talent. When we talk about a 5-star recruit, we're not just talking about hype or empty potential. Hill is the definition of a complete athlete. With the ball in his hands, whether on offense or kick returns, he's simply dangerous. His speed, ability to change direction on a dime, and ability to keep up with the nation's best wide receivers on the defensive end show that he's not just another name on Alabama's target list, he's the kind of player who can change games. Hill still has room to grow physically, but he's already showing impressive maturity on the field. At Archbishop Hoban, he's not just a participant, he's a dominant force. On offense, his explosiveness with the ball makes opponents tremble. On returns, he turns otherwise ordinary plays into breathtaking moments. And on defense, when facing opposing receivers, his agility and game-reading skills show that he's ready to compete at a level few his age can reach. For Alabama, a program known for molding raw talent into NFL stars, Hill seems like a perfect fit for Kalen DeBoer's puzzle. Monday's visit isn't just a one-off, it's a sign that Alabama continues to be a magnet for the nation's best. Tuscaloosa has that special aura, that mix of history, passion and excellence that few places can replicate. When Hill steps onto campus, he's not just seeing state-of-the-art facilities or hearing empty promises. He's feeling the weight of a tradition that has produced legends from Bear Bryant to Nick Saban and is now moving forward with DeBoer at the helm. The current coach has shown he can hold the bar high, and bringing in a player like Hill only reinforces the idea that Alabama isn't just living in the past, it's building the future. For fans, the anticipation is palpable. The thought of Albert Hill in a crimson uniform, running around Bryant-Denny Stadium with the roar of the crowd behind him, is the kind of vision that keeps the Crimson Tide's fire burning bright. And the best part? It's not a distant dream. With Alabama so highly positioned in his recruitment, every visit, every conversation, every moment he spends in Tuscaloosa is one step closer to making that vision a reality. Hill isn't just a recruit, he's a promise that the Tide will continue to be a dominant force, no matter who's in charge or what the challenge ahead. As Hill prepares to arrive on Monday, the message is clear: Alabama is open to talent, ready to show why it continues to be one of the best destinations in college football. Kalen DeBoer and his staff know what they have, and the fans know what's at stake. Could Albert Hill be Bama's next big thing? Let me know what you think. Comment below.